What is up, everybody? Welcome to High School Never Ends, a pop punk dad podcast. I am Wingman Steve.
Yeah, hey, this is Chris 183, and hey, everybody, welcome back. It's good to see you again, and it's good to see you too, Steve. It's going to be a really fun episode once again. Do I say that too much? I don't think I ever say that, actually.
We do a lot of fun things, so it's been said.
Yeah, but I think that we are maybe more enthusiastic about this than ever before because we get a chance now during our latest series that we've been in the middle of to look back or to recap the year of 2025. I still can't believe we are at this point where we're at the end of 2025, but we are. That's how life goes. That's how things go. Time flies. And yeah, we get to talk about some really great music, don't we, Steve?
Yes. Well, we've in our 2025 recap of new music, we've already gotten to speak about Yellow Card. We've already gotten to speak about the starting line, and we have a couple more lined up. And I think that if you listen to us at all in the past 365 days, you would say to yourself, they would be crazy. I would not expect them not to talk about this album, but I will let you intro it after I thank our patrons for being part of our show. Punkish Dad, Punkish Dad's friend, Punk Rock Mom, Jeff, Tom, Ashley, Jason, Sam, Chris W, and Nick. And without further anticipation, what are we talking about tonight?
We're talking about the band Hot Mulligan, Steve. This is one of my faves. And when this album dropped this year in the August timeframe, I was over the moon for what potentially could be, in my estimation, album of the year. I don't want to say that yet. I'm not going to say it. But at the time, I thought that, and we'll see if I still do. But the album is, and so if you're a fan of Hot Mulligan, you know that sometimes their titles are way out in left field. But the title of this album is The Sound a Body Makes When It's Still. That is the title of this album. And
did you look at the cover of the record a little bit? In your Spotify or wherever you're listening, it kind of looks like a being that is in kind of like a hospital bed with some cords plugged into his or her body, and they're connected into a computer. But if you look really, really close, they made the album cover look like a CD. There's a tiny little line on the left-hand side, and they're giving off the visual that this is a compact disc, which I appreciated.
Love it. Love the throwback. Love the CD throwback too. You know, I'm a big CD guy. Even though I'm also the resident expert on vinyl on this show.
You're just racking up your media. You're just enjoying it. I like that.
I took a sabbatical from vinyl for a while, but I'm back in the game thanks to shout out to Steve Kelly out there. He helped me get back in.
Heard you got a new record player on the way?
I do, and bookshelf speakers, so I'm ready to go. And I did look up this album, by the way, to see how much it would cost to buy it on vinyl, and it's very affordable, and I plan to do that. But what a great album cover. It's surrealistic. It's cool. It's abstract. It's exactly what Hot Mulligan does, right on brand. And I think the same goes for the title of the album too. But just like any of the other Hot Mulligan albums, you have no idea what to expect in a lot of ways when you review that and you start reviewing the song titles on this album, Steve.
Song titles. We will get into that. But I had a problem with doing this discussion about this album. And my problem with it is that I still wasn't done turning the page on Why Would I Watch, or is it Why Would They Watch? But whatever. The last record, it's still in heavy rotation, and it was a little bit hard for me to like, okay, now it's time to listen to some new stuff, because I was still just so into, and that's the first one that we listened to. I don't know if you heard singles. I'm sure we talked about it, but after we did an episode that was this year, January, on that record, it was just a mainstay in my listening behavior for this entire year. So by the time August 22nd, 2025 came around, where The Sound a Body Makes When It Still comes out, I was like, I'm not ready to stop listening to the other one yet, but I did. I'm still listening to both, but I guess that just speaks to the praises of, how much we got into this band.
And they're both great. And so you didn't even delve into You'll Be Fine, and maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but
not really, no.
Even that album is amazing to add, just adding on to the stack of things you potentially could be doing. But I think you're in a really good spot, even if you haven't made that tradition transition, or if you have, you're going from one amazing album to another, and it's really giving you basically, if you like the Hot Mulligan brand of music, you're gonna like this album too. This gives you that, and it gives it to you in a little bit different of a way. I don't think that, just overall opinions about the band. I don't think that there is, a ton of deviation from what Hot Mulligan has as their makeup, or as whatever their recipe is for a song. Like they stick pretty closely to the things that they do the best, and the things that they're known for in a lot of ways: vocals in a certain way, just some crazy guitar backing, and some really great melody. Like they do that, and I know I just kind of described songs in general, but if you listen to Hot Mulligan, you know what I mean, and you know how that kind of fits that. But they don't really go too far in a different direction during this album. They do some cool things that maybe you haven't heard before, but it's subtle. But that's okay, because that's what people want right now. They just want more and more and more of this band, and that's what this album gives you, in my opinion.
Totally agree. I think that what this album gives you is a little bit more. Takes a little bit more time to decipher, and I don't have enough time that I have deciphered it, because I think that where the super strengths of this album lie are in a lot of the sentiments, a lot of the lyrics, a lot of the behind the scenes, because, to be honest, it sometimes is very difficult to understand the words. You gotta sometimes read along. At least me, I can almost never understand the words. I gotta read along with them. Then after you read along and listen, it's kind of, it's not just A, B, C, D, like here is my song, here is the story. There's a lot of stuff that's up for interpretation, a lot of, metaphors and similes and all those other things. I don't know if it's similes, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes. And I feel like the more that you dive into that, the more that you appreciate this band. And when I started to kind of put together some notes for this record, I found myself in a bit of an online rabbit hole, and found that, there's a lot of people that will go into what they think songs are about. And there are members of the band. Tades himself comments and confirms, denies. They did like an Ask Me Anything kind of thing on Reddit, where you can ask the band questions, and they participated. And there's a lot more to this record and to all of these songs than really is on the surface. So I didn't even get all of it. I took a couple of notes that I'll reference later, but for you Hot Mulligan fans that are so deep into the lore and, the behind the scenes of the words, what they mean, I don't know that I'm personally going to get that deep. I'm going to try and point out a couple of things here and there, but I feel like I'm just now getting into, after a year of Why Would I Watch, kind of really starting to get those and understand those. So I think this one needs more time to grow, but regardless, we can still talk about it.
I'm a lore guy, Steve. I admittedly have not gotten into any of the lore with this band yet. I just haven't had the time to do it. I just basically enjoy the music. So, from the outsider, not really thinking about it from that angle at all. And that's really cool. And I think that you've sparked something in me by saying what you just said. I didn't realize there were layers to this. I didn't realize there was stuff behind it. I just thought that these guys were really good at building the type of music that I like. And
they are.
It's and right, like they are still good at that, but it's not just haphazardly putting together nonsense that flows perfectly and smoothly. They have a science behind it, and they have thought processes, and these guys are super smart, and they're able to do all of that stuff and interweave messages and, like you said, metaphors that you're not even thinking of. That really would be cool. So I would imagine that there's a lot of people out there like me that have not looked into that, but probably should, because it's definitely sparking my interest. So I'll be doing that. I'll be looking into this stuff, and you can't get the lyrics on. So just on Spotify, like if periodically I would look to see if I could open the thing up at the bottom and look at the lyrics, they weren't there. So I guess you have to look elsewhere for the lyrics if you needed them.
I did a web search, and your typical AZ lyrics or song meanings or whatever have lyrics, or just Google sometimes has them. But I mean, what I'm kind of referencing here is that they trick us all. They give us these silly, ridiculous song titles, but then they give us really heartfelt, really deep songs. And their contingent, their band, they've gone through, substance abuse and alcoholism, depression, anxiety, death of family members. Didn't we have the song that was about his pet rat that died on the last record? I mean, there's a lot going on under the surface, and I just scratched it a little bit. I didn't go that far, but at least I can. When I don't have enough time to really formulate the opinions myself, I at least like to read some others. And I have a couple things that I found. These guys are active on Reddit, so if you're on Reddit, you follow Hot Mulligan and you follow Tades, you may get some responses if you say, I think the song's about this. Or actually, he kind of said all of them already, so you can look it up. Just do a quick search for his handle.
Right. Well, that'll be cool. So I'm assuming you'll be talking about those things. I'm going to be looking at it from a little bit higher of a view because I didn't look into those. So more about enjoyability factor for me, but almost exclusively. But that's okay too, because a lot of people listen to music that way.
Sure.
So.
Well, we have 16 songs to get through, so we should probably get started. The album came out August 22nd of this year, as we mentioned, on Wax Bodega. On the Billboard 200, it got up to 175, so it's not really, in the mainstream or anything like that, but it did chart. It was produced by Brett Romness. There's 3 different videos. If you guys want to check those out, we may or may not talk about them, but Anna Big Load, Fudge Axe, and Island in the Sun all have videos on the YouTubes. So I feel like their videos are always kind of funny, and I enjoyed watching them. Some of them have stories behind them. Some of them are just kind of silly and playing music. And, we both broke our live cherry watching Hot Mulligan this summer, so maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. And anything else before we get in?
No, I was going to talk about the live show piece and not necessarily get into any detail because we've actually been over that several times on this show talking about the Four Chord Music Festival, and that's where we saw them. But I'll just say that this is a band that I really would like to see in a smaller venue. I don't know if they're at the point now where they won't play smaller venues because they can draw, but I don't know, like Roxy Theater in Pittsburgh, smaller venue. I would love to see them there. I would love to see what that looks like. Maybe even Stage AE, I don't know, a little bit bigger, but a little bit different, like a little bit more of a smaller venue with them headlining, maybe some more songs. That's what I want next, to see if there's something that's going to come around.
They're playing my way. They're playing medium-sized venues, so I'm just looking at their tour dates, and I looked at this earlier today, and I basically scrolled through it and saw there was nothing in Pennsylvania, so I didn't get too deep into it. But looking at it, I do see that coming up, they are playing in a venue that I know of, which is the Pageant in St. Louis. So that's where Ludo plays every year. Story of the Year plays there. Lots of people play there. So I would certainly call that a medium-sized venue. I haven't been to the Roxy, and so I can't, make a direct comparison. But I think, if they're headlining, they're probably going to be at one of those, mid-sized kind of venues. But they do a lot of support. I saw them open up for Newfound Glory not too long ago, and that was at the Electric Factory, which is, 5,000 people, something like that. So that's a fairly bigger one.
Got it. Well, I'll be looking for that. My eyes will be open for anything that's coming around with them, because I definitely want to see them again. And hopefully and look, this is a Michigan band, right? They're based out of Michigan.
Yes, sir.
So that's surprising to me that they don't come just a little bit east from there into even like a Cleveland area.
I'm sure they will, and they probably have. It's just upcoming. They have some West and Midwest, and they're going to Europe for a bit. Like most of their dates on their website are Europe, and they're going to Australia as well.
Got it. Maybe we should go to Australia.
That would be cool. I would like to see, just taking a look at the different venues here and where they're going. I think it would be cool to see them in like Brussels or Czech Republic, or, well, I'm going to be in Paris next year, but not when they're there, or Amsterdam. These would be some cool places to see a band.
You want to go to the Czech Republic over Australia?
Australia's a hell of a trip. I have been to Czech Republic, but no, I think I'd rather go to Australia, but there's a lot more to that than there is to get into the Czech Republic.
We've kind of already been over why I don't want to go to Australia, because I have no idea about the creatures that I would face there. But
we have Fairway Poppy. He'll protect us.
We do. I'm sure it's a beautiful place. So one of these days. But yes, we do have 16 songs of Midwest emo greatness to talk about. Steve, is this band Midwest emo, by the way?
I don't know what the absolute definition of that is, but in my mind, I would put them in that category. I think, yes.
To me, and this is just to me, Midwest emo feels like I don't think I can put it into words. Like I just feel a certain feel when I hear a band. Maybe it's like a folksy type of emo pop punk. I don't know. Like I just feel it. So I feel it here. They, to me, embody that sound in a lot of ways. So I'll be using that term fairly frequently as we go through these songs.
The first time I saw them live, if you had told me that every member of Taking Back Sunday had a kid who grew up and they formed Hot Mulligan, I would have totally bought in, because they give me some of those vibes. Maybe it's just the kind of clean, unclean vocals mixed with like the really good guitars and just interesting song construction. But I in my mind, I always equated them to something like that, but for now, not for 2004.
Fair enough. All right, Steve. Well, why don't you kick us off with the first track?
It's not titular. We are going to move to Bed Bug Island. The first track is called Moving to Bed Bug Island. That is an island I would not want to move to. With this one, we basically get a soft one to start. I love the strum on the acoustic guitar, and the fact that when bands leave in that sound, I don't know if I can explain it. It's from when the sound when the guitarist's hand goes from one chord to another chord, and it's just a little like a little slide. I love when that pokes its head into acoustic songs. I feel like it kind of just adds to the ambiance. Again, the mix of clean and unclean vocals, and this isn't just this song, this is probably all their songs, but I'll start here. It's just so unique. I mean, the voices, I just don't know anybody else that sounds like this. And then they add in like awesome harmonies. Is this a track one that gets you like pumped up? No, but it's kind of just what you feel like you should hear from this band. And one thing that I noticed in this record that maybe I didn't pay attention to on the last one was that the drums in this track and throughout the album they sound pretty amazing. So while this one isn't like a banger, so to say, to start, I felt like it was a good way to start.
All right, so moving to Bedbug Island. Did I move to Bedbug Island? I guess that it's somewhere that I would move just to check it out, maybe just for a little bit. But Steve, you hit on some of the notes that I have here. It's definitely a very folksy start to the song, which I can appreciate in a lot of ways. Not always necessarily my type of music, but somehow Hot Mulligan makes it sound better. So I was into it. And I think, moving on from that, there are these explosive parts to the song that really add some amazing flavor to it. And that's part of that flavor that this band brings to the table, with just that vocal explosion when you least expect it, when the song starts as slow as it did with that guitar. And then they start to layer in that piece there. So really, really cool. And it's a choice. It's I'd say a brave choice, but it's an interesting choice to kick off the album like this with a little bit slower of a song in a lot of ways. So once again, like, that doesn't bother me at all. I think it's a great, solid song. Of course, you can start off an album like this and still be successful, and I think they found a way to kind of pull that off. It probably has a lot to do with I can't get enough of this band, but I still think, again, that there's an enjoyability factor to this that's a little bit deeper than maybe just at surface level. So I was all for this one. It got me interested in this album when I first turned it on, and also this one has a really creepy ending to it. So I appreciate it, but kind of creepy.
I like how they do those weird things sometimes at the end of songs.
Yeah. So they also named this, speaking of weird things, this next song is entitled "And a Big Load." So
do you know why they called it "And a Big Load"?
I would love for you to tell me. I have an idea, but I don't think it's the right one.
It's pretty simple. They just envision themselves seeing the internets saying, "Hot Mulligan release new single and a big load." And they thought that was fucking hilarious, which it is.
It is. And there it is. There's the mystery solved. Was there something about Bedbug Island that they talked about, by the
I
way?
didn't hear that. I saw a clip on one of the internet somewhere where I think it was Chris saying that. One of the guys from the band basically said that's why they did it.
Yeah. Well, look, they follow up that first track that's a little bit more muted with this amazing energy field track that just kind of kicks in with some amazing sound right away. This one hooked me from the get-go, Steve. Like I instantly fell in love all over again with this band after hearing this track here. The tempo is just so great. The way that it's constructed, right up my alley in terms of tempo. It's screamy in all the right places, and it has a great rhythm with that too. So they were able to mix in that harder sound, that harder vocals with a really interesting rhythm of the song that keeps you, just engaged the whole time. So it keeps me anyway engaged the whole time because it keeps the song flowing. It never feels like it slows down, and it never gets disinteresting, in my opinion. And this one actually has a pretty decent pop punk flair underneath it all. So I think this is a one-stop shop for everything you need when it comes to just a great track with all kinds of different aspects of it that kind of all meld together to make something that you want to listen to over and over again. So it's just a lot of fun. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It does have if there's a song that leans a little bit more pop punk, it's definitely this one. And this is the big explosive track, the first single that they released. It's fantastic. I love kind of after that first verse, the kind of plucking guitar in the background. It's a bit hard to understand the words, but it doesn't take away from the enjoyment of the song at all. It's got, so I don't even know what to call it. I feel like it's a chorus and a post chorus, but I love it. The cadence is incredible. Choking on apology. Like he does this thing, Tades, where it's this up and down of the vocals, which is fantastic. Then they have take another minute, like that part. Maybe that's a post chorus. Then there's just this other part that it repeats a couple times. Never gonna get it. Oh, it's just committing. Again, it's a very cool song structure, and they don't really follow like a mold, but they do it so well. And there's a guitar solo that is fantastic in this one. This is probably the right one to release as the first single and to put it number 2 on the record. And it's a banger. Loved it.
1,000%. And you can keep going with this next one, and it doesn't smell like Teen Spirit.
It smells like Fudge Axe in here. I was playing this record in the car this evening when I picked up my daughter from dance, and I was like, yeah, this band has all these funny titles. And then I put this one on, and she's like, what does it mean? Smells like Fudge Axe in here. I'm like, I don't know. It's just funny. It's just funny to say. And then she's like, show me the other funny ones. We'll get to those later.
Well, there's an Axe body spray that it's chocolate. So I don't know if it's fudge. I can't find anything fudge related, but I'm looking at Dark Temptation, which is a chocolate smelling Axe body spray. So that does exist.
I didn't pull that one, so I appreciate that. I just love their guitar lines, man. It's at points they don't sound super complicated, but they just hit. This is another one with those up and down vocals in the chorus. Pull dun dun dun. Like it's just, I don't know. I think this one might be one of the best choruses on the whole album. It's just really boppy, and it's hard to say that like a song with unclean lyrics or a Midwest emo, whatever you want to call it. It's hard to categorize or to think of something like that as boppy, but it really is. It just makes me want to go. There's like 5 seconds of slowdown into the final chorus, again with this like sick guitar work in the background. This one had a video. I think this was the one. Did you see this video?
No, I didn't look at. I actually did not watch the videos.
This one, the video, I guess the concept of the video is they're supposed to be in like Mexico, and there are these two guys that, I don't know, maybe they're like cartel members, and they're just like playing chess. And all of the guys in Hot Mulligan are kind of dressed like a mariachi band, and they're just singing this song kind of gently in the background, like obviously not doing the vocal inflection that the song actually warrants, but they're just kind of doing their silly thing in the background. And then I think eventually the drug lords like kill them all. And then there's a very long like poem. There's just a poem, a guy smoking a cigarette and reading a poem at the end of this one. I'm pretty sure this is the one. Anyways, I really loved the song. It smells like fudge axe in here. I love saying that, and I'm impressed so far.
It's funny because I'm watching the video right now, and watching this video with two guys that potentially are cartel, or however you want to put it. Maybe just they're in Mexico. I'm not sure.
The one guy looks like Johnny Drama, but I'm pretty sure it's not him.
He does, but it's funny because the title of the song means it's no correlation with anything that we're watching. So it's actually really funny, and I appreciate this band's humor in a lot of ways. Like this is my sense of humor. I think we talked about this in the last album, that I think that's one of the reasons why I latch on to this band. Obviously, it's the sound that really gets me, but that doesn't hurt either. These are the kind of song titles that I would probably come up with, honestly. So I'm all for them. And you're right. Like, this is a great track. I think there was parts of this song that maybe I didn't absolutely fall in love with. And that's like kind of comparing them against all time favorite Hot Mulligan tracks, but all of the things you said and all of the things about the musical pieces that kind of make up this particular song all track with what what I have written down. I thought the guitar line was one of the standouts, super engaging and very easy to latch on to from a melodic standpoint. I liked it right away. The same, great vocal expression, especially with some of the vocal layering in the latter part of the track itself. Back and forth, it's a little bit of layering. I always get into that, and the song does it in a great way. So this is really a good track. I wouldn't say great. I'd say it's a really good one, and yeah, I was a fan. So keep it going. I can take the next one, Steve.
It's a Weezer cover.
It is. It's not. But at first I thought it might be. When I saw the title of it, and it's entitled "Island in the Sun," and this one's featuring Corey Castro of Free Throw, if you're familiar with that band. But I did think that we were going to get a Weezer cover, because this is the band that would do a Weezer cover. I think that they would. And I'm actually really interested to hear Hot Mulligan do a Weezer cover, to be honest with you. But I haven't heard it yet. So I think they may have teased it at Four Chord. I think they talked about, like, hey, do you guys want to hear a Weezer song?
Oh, they introed it like that?
I swear it was them, and they may have just like strummed a couple riffs getting ready for the next song. So I was faked out. If it was them, it might have been another band. That was obviously a couple months ago. But Island in the Sun is not a cover. And I wouldn't say this is not necessarily anything different. I honestly, feel like this band really, like, if they try something different, it's still on brand with Hot Mulligan. Like, I don't hear anything that's quote unquote different with them. So I just wanted to kind of get that out. It was a note that I had here, because this song does start maybe just somewhat in a different direction. But I love this song for a couple different reasons. When it slows down and it says every second word is screamed, that really gets me. And I think that's something that they do more than just on this song, but I love it so much. Like, when they do a regular word, scream word, and it's faster, obviously, than what I just gave you, but man, is that great. Does that sound amazing? And I guess that's the chorus. I don't know. It might be the pre-chorus, chorus, whatever it is. But that was really the main piece in terms of a standout for me. But it's surrounded by, again, great track, great guitars. This is another really good one that I would rank up there. So what did you think, Steve?
Yeah, the high pitched guitar lead kind of keeps the song somewhat like light and floaty. I really like that. I wasn't sure I picked up like a real chorus. Like they're talking circles in here where you said like that part is repeated like maybe twice and expanded the second time. But again, I feel like you can't put these guys in a box with the way they write. Like if you think you're gonna find a bona fide chorus each time, they're gonna be like, fuck you. No, we're not doing that. The song seems to be, about getting wasted and kind of decisions that are made and the alcoholism, talking a whole lot about drinking, lots of slowdowns, stops, pickups, great unclean lyrics. This one reminded me a lot of a song from Why Would I Watch, but I couldn't think and place which one it is because all the song titles are so difficult to remember. But same kind of vibe as that album. I love there's at the end, there's these like choral background harmonies that are just really nice. And I thought this was a great Weezer cover. Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a Weezer cover, but I can appreciate your projection
Thank
onto
you.
what it potentially could be. Hey, and those guitar notes, so they do those note trios, those bling, like the 3 notes in a row or something like that. I don't know if you hear that or not, but I thought that was a cool part of the song too, and it repeats throughout. But I like that. I don't know if that's just a riff or sounds like it's picking three strings like really fast to make that sound. But whatever it is, it sounds great. So.
As somebody who also doesn't play guitar, I understand what you're saying, and I can appreciate that too.
Yeah, we infer or we describe what it is we're hearing without actually knowing what we're saying.
Yes, poorly. We do it poorly. So the next song,
that's the charm of the show. Go for it, Steve.
The next song is called Bon Jonah. I have no idea what that is. This one is also super boppy. It's got, I don't know, a little bit of kind of that 50s vibe, especially in the beginning. Just the pace and the drums are awesome. I totally dig the pre-chorus that's into the chorus. It's funny. There's a local band here in Philly that you know as well, Chris, called Cheer Up Dusty. And the end of their chorus actually really reminds me of a Cheer Up Dusty song, because at the end of their chorus, they go loose stitching, and Cheer Up Dusty has a song where they go legacy. And it's just the same kind of vocal inflection that makes me call back to that. But I like those guys. I like these guys. Again, I like these guys take the formula of doing a song and they're just like, nah, fuck that. Like they have pre-choruses, choruses, post-choruses, other parts that are just weaved in. It's crazy. And one thing that I did kind of look up, because in the, I guess, post-chorus, you can call it, he says, why should I move it all, dragging loved ones in, find myself curled up, choking on marigold. And the phrase choking on marigold does come up again in this album. And I think somebody asked what that meant, and they answered. And essentially, they were looking for a phrase like an antithesis to smelling the roses. And marigold is something that kills or chokes out weeds. So that's kind of where that phrase comes from. But overall, again, we're super, super strong.
I didn't know that about marigolds. Is it like marigold flowers? Is that what we're talking about?
I think so, yeah.
I knew about
choke
those.
Out weeds.
Just like Axe body spray would choke out people.
Or it would attract people.
Did you wear it?
I never owned any of that, no. I had some colognes, but not that one.
Oh, I wore it. I wore it heavy for a while. There was a lot of Axe body spray. You're not impressed? You don't care?
You got the ladies, man. It worked out for you.
I don't know. I don't think so. It might have been a repellent at the time, but I guess we'd have to ask younger Chris that question. Bon Jonah, I see that as a mispronunciation of Bon Jovi by maybe like an older relative that doesn't really know.
Maybe.
I think that's what it sounds like to me, and that's the way I'll take it until they say otherwise. I think that a little bit different of a song, a little bit less screamy, kind of, right? They still have some stuff kind of mixed in there that goes in that direction, but I think that the song it sails right along. I think this is a smooth song. Like you don't get tired, you don't get tired of it. It doesn't drag, but something about it a little bit on the average side. Maybe it's the chorus. I don't know. It just didn't hook me as much to put it towards the top, but I think it's a solid track. The only drawback again is maybe I wasn't as much into the chorus. It didn't give me anything to really hold on to. But musically, again, they know how to put together an amazing song with so many layers, and it's the complexity of it obviously is there too. So if you like that, maybe this grows on you. But for me, like the first 3 months with the album, this one didn't really stand out. So that's where I'm at on this one.
That's funny. I had a star next to it.
You had a star?
I had a star.
So you've adopted the star system.
I've always used the star system in one way, shape, or form. The star or just an asterisk. It means that it's in consideration for tops.
Yeah, I've retired the star system in my mind.
Really?
I've retired it this way. Yes, you can have it. I don't need to have it anymore.
Well, yours was more complicated than mine. Mine just means let's circle back and see if this one is in the top.
Well, you make it easy on me because the next one is a song by the name of "This Makes Me Yummy." I do not like it when people say "yummy," Steve. By the way,
no, it doesn't bother me.
I just, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Ooh, that's yummy. Like, don't say that. Say something else.
Well, this makes them yummy.
Yeah, it's an instrumental track, so it's interlude or it's just something in between. And hey, it's fine, right? It's cool, some cool effects, some good music, but nothing really more to say about that.
Yeah, not really. No, it's a minute 11 instrumental track that kind of sounds like a Casio keyboard. It's creating a little vibe, a little breakup in the action at this point, and nothing really too much to say about it.
All right. Well, you gave me the easy one, so go ahead and let's just keep it going back and forth. You can go with the next one.
Oh, all right. I'll go with Monica Lewinsky-Biddy. Wait, Monica Lewinsky-Biddy.
Yes.
Okay, Monica Lewinsky-Biddy. That's a funny, interesting song title. I think that the song itself is really cool. There's drums on this one that, kind of harken me back to like some Travis Barker-y type drums, really fast, changing pace. This song just goes and goes like right from the get-go. And at first I kind of read this as like a love song, please wake up. There's still time if you'd stay up with me. But then I realized that it's definitely not a love song. There was one line at the very end. I didn't try hard enough to be a proper son. I was like, wait a minute, this is not a love song. And I looked into it. He was very close with his grandmother, who kind of acted like a mother to him, Tades, and she had passed away somewhat recently. So this is a song, and when you kind of hear that and you go back and you look at the lyrics and read the lyrics, it's again, it's a sweet song that's kind of bundled up in this, like, I don't know, I keep saying banger of a track, fast track. I love the fact that, he kind of keeps the story going. He starts like it's 1 a.m. in Tokyo. By the way, I think he was in Australia and Tokyo sounded better in the lyrics. So he switched to Tokyo, but it's the same time zone. He starts it's 1 a.m. in Tokyo. The sun is up at home. Then he kind of goes, it's 3 a.m. in Tokyo. The sun's up at home. At the end, it's 5 a.m. in Tokyo, half world away. You can kind of hear that there's some family stuff that is going on. And I can certainly relate to that and feel that. And then finally the song at the very end like slows down a bit and then leads into the next one. And again, making his song title so ridiculous that is a pretty serious type song is a choice. And I'm here for it.
I tried to look up what Monica Lewinsky-Biddy means. You can't find it. So I guess we're just going to have to leave it up to your imagination again. Maybe it's a relative. Maybe it's something his grandmother would say when she referenced this person. I know that my grandmother for a while would say things, would talk about celebrities and mispronounce their names. I don't want to say on purpose. I want to say that she just did it because that's the way she thought it was. But
oh yeah, my aunt thought Sheryl Crow was Sheila Snow for a very long time.
Sheila Snow. I got Arnold Schwarzenegger was one of them.
Okay.
But anyway, so this I'm with you with this one. This is Midwest emo at its best. to me. Like this gives me the feels, this one. And it should, right? Based on the underlying meaning of it, it really should give you the feels. But I came at it more based on the sound, like I said I was going to. And underlying, it gives you like this hopeful sound in the music that really connected and resonated with me. And maybe that's a piano, maybe that's a keyboard. I don't know what it is behind it, but it made me feel a certain way, a hopeful way. And it also speeds up at the right time. They pick the best times to do that here in their song structure. And man, do they do it great here. Like right at the time where it speeds up is where it should. And then it slows down again and goes back to the more reserved to kind of wrap it up. So it does that build, it gets to a crescendo, and then it comes back down. Everything that I love. It's just a great track. You're right. Like, by the way, you didn't say banger before. This is the first time.
Oh, I thought I said it like 17 times.
No, I didn't hear it.
Okay. We'll keep it going into Milan Minute because it again, they do kind of lead into one another.
It does, and this one I think might be close to a minute. This is a quick hit. I think this is. Is it a transition song? Is it its own thing? It's again very fast song in time frame. Is it a ballad? Slower down, it's a slow down song. It's a quick ballad, so for a lot of different reasons, because ballads aren't honestly like my thing. I'm okay with that, and I don't know. I thought it was fine. It was there. What did you think?
Yeah, I really thought that this was following the exact same theme, about his grandmother. But I was in a Reddit rabbit hole, and I think that he commented that it's not. I don't know. I have a hard time kind of believing that because we're talking about, we put you in the ground. Katie's crying. The kid's not around. And then she's saying, I'm so proud of you. To me, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just a sweet acoustic track. I liked it more for the sentimentality, I think, than the song itself. There's not a whole lot to it. But I do enjoy like a slow down song in the middle of a hard, fast record. So I think this is a good spot, and it was perfectly fine. It fit very well from the previous song, even if the concept is not the same.
Yeah, look, if you're taking this as a journey through the music and maybe you're listening to this album from front to back, I totally agree. Like the ups and downs are a part of the journey and what makes it interesting. So I think this one is definitely needed. I would say, like, if I was going to listen to it on its own, I probably wouldn't pluck this one out and put it on a playlist for a reason.
No, but it's part of a body of work for sure.
Sure.
So the next one, this is the song where I put this on for my daughter because I said this has a funny title, and Chris does not like feet at all. No, I think I remember this from previous conversations. So I think the song title probably makes you a little queasy. It does not make you feel yummy. It maybe makes you feel yucky, but this is called Cream of Wheat of Feet, Gnaw Cream of, in parentheses, Feet, like featuring. But it doesn't feature anybody. So I guess that's the joke because it's not featuring anybody. So it's Cream of Wheat of Feet, Gnaw Cream of Feet.
Feet.
But F-E-A-T. So again, just have to appreciate the humor. I don't believe that this has anything to do with the song, has anything to do with the title. I mean, this is a song about a dude who is fucking paranoid. He is paranoid. He's lost 6 pounds in a week because he doesn't want to eat. He's putting tape over the doorbell in case it rings. There's a shadow that's been stalking him. It disappears when he checks and then it repeats. Again, it's kind of crazy to take such a concept of extreme paranoia. And again, I don't know how real this is or how not real it is when he's writing this, but to take this concept and make it into a really catchy song, but they do it. It is a catchy song. They hit the titular line, the sound a body makes when it's, hold your breath, the sound a body makes when it's still. There's I wouldn't say that there's an overwhelming amount of huge screams. There's a lot of screams throughout the record, but there's a huge scream on this one. And when he belts out, I know where you are, it's gigantic. And then the song ends with this crazy, hectic, sudden ending. I thought this one was pretty fantastic.
Just pressing pause, you haven't really been super critical about the screams on this album. I I think that's
I love it,
interesting.
dude. No,
I think
these
that's
are.
interesting.
Listen. I have never been anti-scream at all, and
No,
if
no,
you,
I never said that. I think I'll let you continue in a second, but I just want to clarify what I meant. So I don't mean that you're anti that. I just mean that it's not your type of thing. Like you'll tolerate it in a lot of ways, and I think there are some exceptions to it. But it seems like, and this is heavy on screams. Like there's a lot. His voice is mostly bursts of that screams. So for some reason you're connecting with this, and I think that's interesting. It's in a good way.
I think this is. I don't have the exact mathematics on this. I feel like this is maybe 50% screams, like maybe 50% mixed with clean vocals, if you want to call them that. And my problem has never really lied with screams in general. If you take a look at some of my favorite screamy type stuff, like I guess Story of the Year and stuff like that, like what I don't get into and what turns me off is the like heavy guar sounding screams. Like when we listen to who does Downfall of Us All, Day to Remember, they have songs that are just all screaming like front to back, and it's like the growl scream, and that's what turns me off. I feel like his scream to me just seems like an appendage to his voice, and it doesn't sound that harsh, and so it makes it more enjoyable to me. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm trying to.
Well, no, it makes sense. But if I remember correctly, like Senses Fail, you weren't really as into that. And I don't.
Yeah, Senses Fail, I think, is more. I would say 60 to 75% of the scream.
I would say they're just about the same as Hot Mulligan. Just it's a different style, but it's yeah. I mean, but even going what you're saying, like 50% of the album, that's a lot. Like I would say, if you're comparing it to like Story of the Year, they're a lot more melodic than a band like this. So anyway, I don't want to split hairs there, but it was something that I noticed, and I thought it was worth calling out because it kind of goes to show the attractive nature of this band and the type of music they're making. It can really turn the tide on somebody that historically doesn't really get into that type of sound. So Cream of Wheat of Feet. I just had to say it. This is, I don't, first of all, like, I think that title is these guys just kind of sitting around and just saying things, and that's stuck. And you know what? If I was in that conversation, it definitely would stick. I'd probably still be on the floor laughing. I'm laughing right now about it because that is just so incredibly funny. But a lot of the things that Steve said were spot on. That guitar is so good. There's a couple things on this that I guess I didn't see where this song would have basically have catapulted itself. Like there wasn't anything specific else I could say other than the fact that I really love the guitar. And some of the vocals were really great, spot on. It's similar to what we've gotten before on this album, just in a different configuration. But there were some other things I didn't necessarily think stand out here. So I think this one could grow on me. I think this is definitely a grower, but there's just a lot of good things to talk about here. I just didn't see it as like an elite pick on the album. That's kind of where I'll put it.
Okay.
All right. And I don't know, like that might be the best title on the. Nah, I mean, I'll take that back. Let's think about that, and we'll talk about that at the end. But the next one, and I got to look at these because I don't want to mess them up. It's Mix Master Wade on the Beat. That one's actually pretty easy.
Easy to say, yes.
Yeah. This one has a little bit more of a bouncy flavor to it. It does some alternating screams. I think that there's a guitar interlude that kind of builds some emotion in this one that I like. The lyrics, once again, are solid. The delivery's solid. The don't know better on repeat. It works great. Like it doesn't get old, doesn't get repetitive too much. Like that's part of the charm of the song. So I don't know. I think it was just from front to back, pretty solid track. Steve, did you like this one a little bit more than I did?
I think I probably liked it about the same. I was trying to think about what we're talking about here. We look at the chorus. He says, "But hold the leash and make me follow. Spread the word, say that dog is mean. When you've been conditioned, pills all swallowed, told you're awful. Awful is all you'll ever be. There's a lot of sad shit in here. I'm trying to figure out what the sentiment is. It seems like some, maybe a little bit more paranoia, like mixed in with some self hate. He says this one line. He says, "I don't know what's real. Why's it hurt when I feel loved?" Like, I don't know. He's got some sad shit, some lines in there that's crazy. I think this is another solid track. I don't really have a ton of exposition about it. There is a slowdown section that has like these video game noises that goes into this musical breakdown, which was really cool. So I can find some really cool things, but I didn't have too much to say about this one.
And I'll find that, there are songs as we kind of wrap through the latter part of this album that I'm going to say, hey, this was a bit average, or this was kind of run of the mill, but it's average for them. Like, and I think that we have to take that into consideration. Like, they have a certain type, like I said at the beginning of the show, they have a certain type of sound, and they do repeat that a lot. They repeat that sound, or the type of sound, to my ear anyway, the untrained ear, throughout like the middle parts of these songs, or in some point in time. So don't take it as a negative if you're listening to this. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of this band and I like what they do. And Steve, I don't know if I'll get to my thoughts here on the next one, but I'll let you kick this one off.
Yeah, I think just to follow up what you're saying there, in that Hot Mulligan has a sound. And there are songs on this record where inherently I want to hear, or I feel like I'm going to hear something that's on another, the previous record, like a guitar line or a drum line or a lyrical delivery or something like that. So I think I feel what you're saying. So, but even though it's 16 tracks, I mean, this album's only 42 minutes, so it's not really that long when you think about it. And good for these guys for putting out an album with 16 tracks, keeping us talking. But we're on number 11 here. It's called Carbon Monoxide Hotel. And for a latter half track, this one is fucking great. There's another kind of like floaty guitar line. I love the cadence of the chorus a lot. The first time that they sing it, it's slow. Then as they repeat it, it gets bigger and faster. One doesn't work, turns to 8 on the hotel floor, falling over. I mean, I hear this dude just dealing with his demons big time in just another like banger. Those lines, one doesn't work, turns to 8 on the hotel floor, falling over. I used to relax, but it doesn't feel good anymore. Being sober is just terrified and crawling out of my skin. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And then at the end, drowning mistakes I can't face from the night before, hating the taste but not wanting to think anymore. These are some heavy lyrics, and I'm down for them. I love them. There's a very screamy back and forth in this one, and to your point, I don't know, man. Hot Mulligan screams. I'm just down for it. They don't do anything that makes me upset. I thought Carbon Monoxide Hotel was a fantastic track.
It was, and not to be repetitive, the only thing that I'll probably just reiterate or support your claims is that I was really into the build in this song, and I think the song just continues to get better to the end. And when you get to that end part, the latter part of the song, it's just so good. Like there's just so much good about this. So like front to back, like this, again, you said it, it's just another great, amazing banger of a song that they continue to churn out on this album. So
at 11, dude, 11, that's impressive.
And it is impressive. And, it's this one took a couple listens. I did have an earlier note that said, middle of the song is a bit average for me and just kind of sounds like an album track. So I crossed that out because I changed my mind. This one is definitely better than just saying that. So I'm with you on this one. This was a great track.
I feel like you're getting shortchanged in our tracking here because you keep getting these songs that are like not lesser songs in general, but this is kind of a basic song. You want me to go first? You want to switch up the order?
No. Let's keep with it. So
do you like yucky better than yummy, or do you equally dislike those words?
I don't mind yucky, but it's still weird. I don't know. But yucky only really is said by little kids. Yeah.
Jinx.
Like grown women say yummy, and I don't understand. So
I'm not a grown woman. I don't use that term often.
grown men can too. It's for anybody, right? Grown men or women. I would just prefer they don't. So if you do say yummy, then you we can have a conversation. I mean I'm open to why, but I can't say that I'll ever agree with that. But yucky a little bit different. So yeah, so it's kind of cool though. Like I know what you said about this being like just kind of it's not maybe a quote unquote real song, but it's this talking under this acoustic guitar line. So I didn't look up what he was saying, and I can't see it on Spotify. So I really had a hard time understanding what it was he was saying, and that's probably part of the point of the song. You're really not supposed to focus on as much what it is he's saying. It's just the ambient effect of listening to the guitar with that backup of something, some sort of narrative that it's almost like a dream that you're having this dream, and there's something that is it's eating up your focus in the dream, but you know something else is happening in the background of whatever it is you're focused on. And maybe you're aware of what it actually is, but you don't know specifically. So maybe that's what I'll kind of draw this parallel to in this one is it feels like maybe I'm in a dream where I don't really know what the person's saying, but I know they're saying something. So I don't know if you look this one up, Steve, if you have any other context or if you have any other opinions about this track itself.
Yeah, I mean, I have all the lyrics here, and I went through them, and essentially, so the song is just an acoustic song over a conversation. The music is nothing too crazy, special, out of the ordinary, and if you're trying, like I was trying to read the lyrics along with listening, it's almost impossible to really follow it in the background. It's very, very difficult. You have to read it to understand what is being said. The audio of the conversation is just, it's too low. Essentially, it's a quite strange story about a kid who goes to school and he starts seeing ghosts, and as he grows up and does different things, the ghosts get larger and larger until eventually they're like right down there. He can see them right in front of his face, and he can smell their breath. And at the very end, so he thinks that he's doing something to make these ghosts grow or get bigger or materialize or something. And the last line is, they tell him that nothing you did made any difference. There's some signification of I think depression and anxiety in here. I can't tell you exactly what it is. Again, I went down a rabbit hole, but I only went so deep. I didn't go super deep on every single one because I didn't want to. I wanted to be able to talk about this and bring it up. But essentially, that's what this song says. And it's a strange little number with a weird, feeling behind it. But again, I don't mind. Like, I like listening to this album in its entirety and having these, whether it's a Casio keyboard thing or a 1 minute song that maybe is about his grandma that's acoustic to this weird converse. I don't know. I just feel like it fits all together somehow. Like, there's genius behind the insanity, if you will.
I dare you to put this on a playlist. I dare you to put it on a New Year's Eve playlist.
Oh my gosh.
Like Will Smith and then this.
Will Smith and then this. Now, I think that the crowd would clear out if this was on a playlist on New Year's Eve.
Except for like one person. What if one person said, "Wow, this is great"?
Oh my!
Who put this on?
If if you're hanging out with a bunch of people and they hear the lyrics to this and like actually take it all in, like that person might be seeing and hearing ghosts. Like this is the way to determine if you can connect with the other side, if you can hear the words.
See, that's creepy now, and I don't want to listen to this song anymore now that you said that because I had no frame of reference of what he was saying, and now that I do, that kind of stuff is kind of creepy to me. So. That's okay.
So you feel yucky. Well, if you feel yucky, you could always let me see your mounts, and that will make everybody feel better.
What are mounts, Steve?
I mean, I would assume that this is just some sort of reference to boobs, I guess. I don't know.
Mounts, though? Have you ever called them that? I've never called them that.
I no, I have not, but I mean mounts. I don't know. I didn't get too in detail about the
Mountains. Like maybe
mountains.
is that a
Yeah,
Michigan thing? Maybe I'll go to Michigan and ask around.
you could. I did not dive in too deep about the meaning of this song. This is one of those like it's a super short song that like doesn't have a chorus. This one does have some cool like keyboards, electronic elements to it. It's perfectly fine. It's not something that's a skip or anything like that, but it's not one that really stood out to me. I don't know if you felt any different.
Yeah, I got distracted because I was trying to look up what mounts was. Yeah, nothing that really would. I mean, it just says mountains. I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, did I say anything different? No, I like how the song kicks off with kind of that super high guitar, and it does this. And bear with me on how I explain this. Semi screams into regular screams, so you get like level 1 and level 3, level 1, level 3, and I like that back and forth. It was semi interesting. I think the drums for me kind of stood out as well here. They were pretty exceptional in a lot of ways, and maybe even featured a little bit more in the mix. So usually burnt drums are kind of in the background. This one I heard them loud and clear. So a couple things from a musical standpoint. Other than that, yeah, no other context. I didn't have any notes about this one being average or being something that I didn't like. So maybe I was a little bit higher on it than you were, but maybe that's because I had a better idea what mounts were, or maybe I don't.
Okay. But I bet you know what a Monster Burger and a $5 beer is.
I mean, of course, I've been there. I've had that. I don't know exactly what they're referencing or where they're referencing. I'd like to try it. Of course, I'm always up for a burger and a $5 beer. $5 beer is expensive, though, isn't it? $5. I'd say like a $2 beer is what I'm looking at.
A $5 beer is expensive? Man.
Like a draft.
I got to move to Pittsburgh. $5 beer's expensive. Sign me up.
Maybe I'm just thinking of how it was 15 years ago.
Beers are like $7.50.
Remember when we had dollar drafts, though?
Well, we went to a college town. I mean, I don't know if that was like that everywhere.
We had $5 pitchers of Captain and Coke at the Shandy Gaff. $5.
Yeah.
Pitchers.
Yeah. There were $5 lots of pitchers of shit around State College, Pennsylvania. And yeah, I drank a lot of them.
I didn't even like Captain, and I drank those pitchers.
I like the
Captain
Long Island iced teas. $5 pitcher of Long Island iced tea at Cafe 210.
And I like maybe there's not a ton of liquor in it, but that's still $5.
Oh, no. There's a lot of liquor. There's every liquor. There's like 6 liquors in Long Island iced tea.
I digress. But of course, we can talk about that. And trust me, I had more than one pitcher, and it was on a Wednesday, by the way, that we had that. But in any case, that was a couple years back. Monster Burger and a $5 beer. This is an album song. I think, though, when you think of a Hot Mulligan album song, it still rips in a lot of ways. There's all the great components of what we've talked about so far in this song that make up a lot of the things that we love about this band. And yeah, I just think it's all those things just shifted around a bit to make a new one. And it was enjoyable. But that's really it. Steve?
All right, this is where I'm going to dive a little bit deep, and I'm going to go over to some things that other people said, because in terms of the song itself, I thought more of like the drums standing out, a cool guitar line. There's just tons of different shit going on in this one. There's, I don't know, almost like rappy kind of lyric delivery in this one. And he's talking about the little bird getting torn up by a stray cat. And so I was like, what is going on? I just want to find out. And I read this post that was about this song in particular. And this is what it says. I'm going to read the whole thing. He says, to me, and this is going to give you an idea of what's going on in Tady's head, in his lyric writing, all these things. So what it says is, to me, the person who wrote it, It's about codependency, or at least Tess, I guess that's a person, filling the role that alcohol once held to subdue Tades' mental illness. With the larger theme of sobriety in mind, alcoholism was once the coping mechanism for his anxiety, feeling like a coward, paranoia, hallucinations, etc., and has since been replaced by Tess, by the girl. The self-loathing and mental illness are dampened when Tess is around, and Tades can finally feel brave in her presence, or maybe have a better outlook on life. The positive impact she has had on him seems evident in the last line of Slumdog, we'll get to that, where he's able to fix the broken light instead of indefinitely putting it off, and turning the small task into an insurmountable source of self-hatred. In the bridge metaphor, Tades is the bird, bloodied by the broken cat. He's in need of mercy. The cat is his mental illness and hallucinations, preying on him for simply being alive. If this metaphor holds up and Tades is indeed the bird, using his boot on the bird as a twisted form of mercy could be seen as viewing self-harm as a form of mercy for himself. This could be supported by the bridge from Bon Jonah, where he says, "The quick solution seems the strongest, there's no guilt for me." Maybe that's a stretch, though. Back to this song, dedicated time for licking at your wounds can't undo the hurt when they open anew. The therapy, medication, relationship, sobriety, etc., are the dedicated time for trying to heal, but they only work so well when he's constantly being ripped apart by the cat when he's alone. So I said all that quick. I don't know if you're able to digest it all, but Tades' response was, "Yeah, this is more or less it, LOL." So this incredibly detailed exposition of this song essentially is what it is. And this is way beyond my capacity to read into lyrics. But again, this is what made me say, holy shit, there is so much going on to this songwriting, the music too, but the lyrics as well. I don't know if again, maybe I said it all too quick. I don't know if there's anything to respond to, but I'll give you the chance.
I don't think there's much to respond to, though. I think that you said what you said, and didn't it kind of explain itself? I mean, I think it made sense. I followed it. It was a lot, and I probably want to listen to it again. I'll play this one back, but at the end of the day, it sounded like the way that you narrated that through, there was a there was a semblance of organization and structure to what he was trying to get across to us, maybe in the form of some kind of abstract story. So yes, made sense.
And the song is called Monster Burger and a $5 beer. So right. I mean, the credit to these guys for writing this shit that is just so fucking deep and emotionally connected, but then putting a song title that is ridiculous in front of it is kudos. I appreciate it.
Yeah, they've carved out. I mean, other bands have done similar things, but even I don't know, even a Fall Out Boy, they're
not that deep. I don't think they're that deep, dude.
But what I'm saying is more like the song titles don't necessarily align with the message of the song, but sometimes don't they? Sometimes they do. I think there definitely are songs where they do. They never do with Hot Mulligan, and they're always ironic and not even ironic. No, that's the wrong word, because it's not ironic to have Monster Burger and a $5 beer as the title of a song that talks about all of those things you just went through. It has nothing to do with it. If anything, it pokes fun at the fact that that's the title, but that's the beauty of it. And that's what makes it fun and funny to me. So,
agreed.
It's so good. And so, yeah, we move on to the next song here. I think this is yours to start off, isn't it?
Slumdog Scungillionaire. So I guess this is a play off Slumdog Millionaire. Again, I don't think it has anything to do with the title of the stuff. And this is the second one that I did pull a quote from the Reddits. I'll say what I gotta say, and then I'll throw it up to you if you want to hear what the internet says. But this is slow, soft piano driven, especially in the first verse. Overall, it's a bit slower, but it definitely has a really cool vibe. The song kind of builds midway through into something much bigger There's a bunch of different callbacks from earlier songs. You know, the cats came back for the bird. He references choke on the marigold again. There's definitely more that I'm not mentioning, but there's multiple callbacks to other songs on this record, which I love when bands do that kind of shit. There is a super scream section, which does not turn me off at all. It culminates with like a soft outro. I thought this song was really cool, and I'll leave it to you if you want to talk, or if you want me to say the other thing, you let me know.
No, I'll just hit it real quick, and then you can go through that. So this is not necessarily a quick hit song. I think I wrote that because I was thinking about, you know, other songs on the album that were similar in approach to this one, maybe slower, you know, in execution, but this one's definitely not quick. It's definitely a lot longer. Very emotional song. I think it might drag a bit, to be honest with you. I'm sure there's layers here that I'm not considering, but just from a musical standpoint, this one doesn't really delve into the area that I'm totally into. So you know, I did say earlier in this analysis that I didn't think that Hot Mulligan does anything different in a lot of ways. Like, it's all of their formula, but this one is a little bit different. This one does things, you know, a little bit different of a way. And I will say that it does ramp up a little bit at the end. And, you know, that was interesting to me, but I can get that elsewhere on this album. So don't really need this song to get to that sound. I then took that back. So it's funny, like all that stuff I just said, and I wanted to do it that way, is to give you my thought processes. So I wrote that down. And then I listened to the last like 40, 50 seconds of the song as I was kind of progressing through it. And it changed my mind. This last 40, 50 seconds of the song, it was pretty awesome. And I could listen to that over and over again. So I think now that I really could latch on to a piece of the song that I think is amazing, it actually amplifies my enjoyment of the first half of the song in a lot of ways. And, you know, that's pretty common with songs. You may not necessarily like the beginning or the end, but if you like the chorus, you like something in the middle, then you end up really liking everything around it. So I think this is where that came from. This one, to me, if I was going to draw a metaphor to it, it almost sounds like we're listening to, I don't know, what's a band that is kind of really just super emotional and has a certain, maybe Ben Folds 5. So Ben Folds meets like a screamy band sound. I'll just kind of throw that in there as what I thought I was listening to with this one. But I definitely thought this one was better than what I originally thought after really getting into that second part. And that's my take. So I'll hand it back over to you, Steve, for some additional exposition on the track.
It's not even my exposition. Again, I'm pulling comments from the internet, from Reddit. Somebody gave their own interpretation of the song, not a definitive meaning, but this person says they've never heard a song that nails catastrophizing and liability so well. The song opens with the singer content and admiring the snow. He notices that a light has gone out in the house and finds it difficult to replace the bulb. His thoughts gradually spiral from this point. I'm so clumsy. What if I break it? What does it say about me? If I can't even do this, I won't get any satisfaction from it. What's the point? His thoughts gradually become more severe. He draws parallels between not being able to complete a menial task to how it speaks about him as a person and a son. The bridge arrives and he is leading to his breaking point. I'm not going to read the lyrics here. The night ends with drinking in an attempt to escape his thoughts. When he wakes, he seems to have some clarity. In a beautiful parallel, it's bright outside, and the ice that accumulated outside melts, and he replaces the light bulb. So again, there's just like, there's so I don't even know if this person is correct in their assumption. All I'm saying is that the imagery and the thoughts and the lyrics behind these songs are just like so fucking deep. Way deeper than I could get into it. But man, if I was like 18 years old and this was like my band, I would have spent the time analyzing every single song and figuring these things out. And somebody out there is, and good for them. And cool for Hot Mulligan for, you know, commenting and, you know, confirming some of these things. But I think this song is even though it's not the last track, I feel like this song is kind of the culmination of the album with all the callbacks.
You think that So this is one person saying all these things, right?
Yeah,
That
so
you've
for
been
the
reading.
most part, Tades is the one who is writing most of the songs. He doesn't write everything.
No, that's all I'm saying. Like this
Oh
stuff that you're reciting from Reddit or wherever your source is. That's just is that one user that's saying
no,
these things?
I've quoted two different ones.
And Tades has commented on one or multiple of
The
them, but not
first
all.
one, not this
Not
one.
all
I
of them.
didn't see a comment on this one.
Got it. So like there is a chance that like that's very well thought out and very well put. And I'm sure if I went back and really listened and then listened to you again or listened or read this, that there would be there would be some aha like, oh, okay, I get
Yeah,
that. But do we know for sure whether or not that's probably not right? But there's a pretty good chance that it is.
I couldn't tell you definitively right now, but I don't know. I bought into that. That was reading that and then going back to the lyrics and kind of putting it all together. It hit for me.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, because like we've talked to bands and we've talked about bands that they do this kind of thing with the lyrics, and what we come to find out is there's not really a ton of meaning like behind every single song's lyrics. Like some of them we overanalyze, we put a story to, we think it's A, but in reality it's not. But based on the fact that I think we've gotten some feedback from the band in this scenario, and even though they didn't all get responded to, our thought or your thought is that pretty much Hot Mulligan doesn't put a song out that they don't think about or it doesn't have necessarily a backstory to because that's their thing and that's what they want to do. So
They're very well thought out. Very well thought out.
that's what I mean is, they're just all of those things like nothing's on accident or nothing's just done because they want to get it done or nothing's done because there's no meaning or they want to make it so vague that it doesn't matter. Like everything has an explanation. You just have to find it. And that's pretty cool.
I do
I
like
liked it a
that.
lot. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that's the second to last track. And the last track is once again pretty funny album title and one that I thought was super clever because I can see, dad or mom reaching out to say this to the kid that's in a band. And the name of the track is My Dad Told Me to Write a Nice One for Nana or Nana, however you want to say it. So this is it. And yeah, so this is certainly it. It's a pretty straightforward ballad to maybe his Nana slash Nana, however you say it.
I would say Nana.
I grew up on Nana, so
Oh, okay.
it's an Italian pronunciation or maybe Italian slang, or maybe it's just the way our family said it, but I've heard it both ways. Yeah, so I mean, he did what he said he was going to do. This might be one of those songs that actually has meaning behind the title. Like he did listen to his dad,
Yeah,
and he wrote a nice song for his Nana Nana.
I totally agree. It's a nice acoustic jam to kind of finish it out. It's sweet. It's heartfelt. I don't know if there's much more to say about that, but
Did you look at the lyrics? Is it about like soul crushing anxiety or anything that?
No. There's no saint as wonderful as you. There's no replacement I could ever choose. I sing your praise, the least I could do. Hope you know how much that I love you. I think he is accomplishing the title of the song and the direction that his dad gave to him.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's sweet.
Well, see, that's a wrap on 16 songs. The funny thing is, it didn't take that long for us to get through that, and that draws a testament again to this album in that it doesn't feel like 16 songs. It flows really great, and the timing, it doesn't drag at all. Like there's a couple songs that maybe sound a little samey, but for the most part, like there's entertainment from front to back on this album, and I think that's a pretty cool thing, and it's going to be challenging then for me for ranking it. So let's go ahead and move on to ranking it, our next segment. And for those of you that don't know ranking it, we rank our top 3 favorites off of the subject matter of the day. Today we're talking about the sound a body makes when it's still. It's an album from Hot Mulligan. And we just talked about all the songs, but now we're going to rank them in order, 3, 2, 1. So, Steve, you want to activate your star system, and tell
Yeah,
us
the
what your
thing
top three
is,
are.
I had 5 songs that qualified for the star system that brought me to what could potentially be my top 3, and I've landed on this. Number 3, I'm going with Hot Mulligan releases a new single, And a Big Load. I think And a Big Load is a fucking banger. It was a great single. To me, it's my third favorite song on the album. Number 2 is a song that directly follows it on the album. It Smells Like Fudge Axe in here. Got into that one big time. But I think even though there were other songs that had the stars on them, I think my absolute number 1 favorite song on this record is Carbon Monoxide Hotel. I think that one stood out above all the rest, and I didn't even have to think about it. That one was my favorite for sure.
Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that. I think that one took me out of left field. Although I don't know. I think that there could have been some other ones. But I struggled with number 3. I think there were a lot of number 3s on this album. But I would say that if I was going to be put to the test here, I guess. Okay, so I think my number 3 is I made a decision here. Mix, master, weight on the beat. I thought the hook was infectious in a lot of ways, and musically speaking, it did some really cool things, and I like the alternating screams here. So, fan of that. Number 3, number 2, and 1 are pretty easy for me. Number 2 was Monica Lewinsky. I just like that sound. I just like the sound this song has. As I said, it has that uplifting, hopeful sound, and it peaks to some really cool, harder stuff as the song moves through it. It gets more intense. It's everything that I am a fan of. And number 1, guys, is And a Big Load. So this is this song. When I heard it, was it's like immediately just like, man, okay, this band is doing it again. This is where I started to text everybody saying, did you hear the new Hot Mulligan? If not, please go listen to it right now because it's amazing. And a Big Load was the reason for that in a lot of ways. And the other funny note to this is I really didn't look at the song titles when I first started listening to this in late August. I don't know why. I just started listening to it, and I had no idea this was the name of the song. So I just knew it as what it was. Now that I've done my research for the show, I now have titles to put to these songs that I know already.
Good luck remembering which is which.
It's impossible. I don't remember any of the songs they do. I would have to look at a list, but at least I have obviously a semi understanding if I do have the material in front of me. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. And that's my top 3.
Awesome. Well, what I'm looking forward to the most is actually the next year of listening to this record, because again, I gave Why Would I Watch a good year's worth of listens, and it just kept growing on me. And I feel like this one has the potential to get to the same platform. I think if you were to ask me right now, I'm not as familiar with Pilot or You'll Be Fine. I think Why Would I Watch at this moment holds a closer place to me than this one, but I feel like this one has the possibility to grow and maybe to catch up to it.
Yeah, and I would suggest you do go back and Why Would I Watch was the one that hooked me originally. This was hey, you need to listen to Hot Mulligan. They're amazing. And at the time, that was the only album that was out. So I would, especially again, as you being somebody that has really attached yourself to this band in a lot of ways with the sound and everything else. Over the next year, go listen to You'll Be Fine. Maybe we can even do it for the show. I think it's worth the time. But where this one fits, I don't know, man. I think it's I think Why Would I Watch? Sorry, I meant You'll Be Fine for that one. But I think Why Would I Watch is gonna be just slightly higher than the sound the body makes when it's still at this point in time. I would need just more time with the sound the body makes before I can make any kind of decisions about dethroning Why Would I Watch, because that's my favorite one. But at this point in time, like, it's so close, it's up there. All three of them are up there. All three of them are top one A, B, and C for me. So you can't lose with Hot Mulligan. I just would give Why Would I Watch this slight edge right now. But I'd be curious if you ask me again mid 2026 if that's the same. So we should probably remember that so we can do it.
Yeah, let's make a note. We'll come back to it. And that's it. This was super fun. I'm glad that we got to talk about this record. I think that we've both become big Hot Mulligan fans, and this was a great exercise to go through.
Absolutely, and hopefully you guys are or will be also Hot Mulligan fans. If you haven't listened to them yet, go check them out. Definitely worth the listen, even if you're not into really screamy music. Again, like Steve said, it's really easy to get into, and they do it in such a unique way that I think that you might be surprised. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you did, go check us out on either Spotify or Apple. Those are the two main ways. And if you have Apple, on the Apple Podcasts, you can write us a review. You can give us a 5-star review if you really enjoy the show. Hopefully most of you did. And also, don't forget about our shop, where we have really cool stuff available now, just in time for the holidays. But it's been there. Anything from shirts to hats to some other memorabilia with the logo on it is available for you at our shop. Just check out our hub. To get there, that's www.hsnepod.com.
Yep, and join in on the conversation wherever you would like. You can check us out on the socials at HSNEPod, like High School Never Ends Pod. You can join our Discord server, which is free. You can find that link at hsnepod.com. You can also join our Patreon, where you get bonus episodes and content from us every single month. You can go to patreon.com/HSNEPod. We have one more episode left in our 2025 recap. What will it be? I don't know. We will find out next week. Until then, keep on rocking your dad bods, throw up your rock hands, and blast the pop punk.
It's Dragon Wagon.